Well, hi there, I'm Noah Bradley and this is Handmade House TV. On today's episode, I'm going to do my best to tackle the question that I often get: what can I do now? How can I achieve that dream home when I have so many things coming against me, so many challenges right now? How do I get there? How do I get my handmade house? What can I do now at this early, absolute beginning, haven't started on its stage of life? So stay tuned. Well, welcome back to Handmade House TV. I get a lot of questions through my email box, and I love answering questions. Please, if you're going to send me an email asking a question, make sure it's one question. Sometimes I get emails that have 15 different questions in it, and they're broad-based questions too. What do you think of? That I can't possibly ever answer in full or in details. But if you have a question, if it's a simple, basic one, I will do my best to answer your email. Just be patient with me. But sometimes I get the more broad-based ones, and those I try to answer here for you on Handmade House TV. And one of them that I get a lot, and it's fully understandable why, and that what can I do now that I want my own handmade house? I would like to play a part in building that house. But right now I am facing many obstacles, and I just don't know. I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get the ball rolling. I don't know how to make it happen. And these responses can be anything from I have 3 children, my mortgage is up to the hilt, I have a full-time job, and I'm taking care of a sick mother-in-law, to I just graduated from college and I am up to here in debt, and I can't possibly get started, but this is what I want out of life so much. What can I do? And the first response that I have to say is that you need, no matter where you are in life, you need to be taking steps towards that dream home, toward achieving your own handmade house, no matter where you're at. If you're not taking some sort of small incremental step toward achieving it, it's always going to be a dream, and eventually you will find yourself at a place in life where you missed out, where it was an unfulfilled dream, and there's nothing sadder than something in life that we haven't ever made a serious attempt at bringing it about. So there are 3 things that I highly encourage everyone to consider doing if you're at this rough stage of how do I get started? How do I do anything with so many obstacles against me? And I can say that I am trying to, I'm taking the process of building my own home one step at a time, and I've made some tremendous progress, even though I have my share of obstacles that are against me. And so the first and most critical step that you can take in life is the achievement of your own piece of land. And I'm not saying that because I'm a real estate agent. I'm not trying to push anything onto you, but there's nothing better. There's no single purchase that one can make in life that is more significant, that's more impactful, that's a greater investment than a piece of land. If you own land, even if you're having to make payments on land, I view making payments on land entirely different than making a mortgage payment on a house. Land is a solid investment. Land only increases and improves in value with time. You can buy a neglected property and the trees will get bigger on their own and increase in value as time goes by. I can say that in the most recent search that I had for a piece of property, that in the previous searches I had, I never noticed a difference other than the fact that land has increased in price. This last time that I searched for property, I noticed that there was a drop-off in the quality of land, of the availability of those sweet, precious parcels of land. that what is on the market now is more generic than what it has been in the past, that more and more of those precious pieces of property have already been purchased and acquired. But there is some reasons behind purchasing it right now, of getting it as soon as you can. One is that there's plenty you can do on a raw piece of land that doesn't cost you any money. You can get on there and you can practice bushcraft and build some kind of structure. You can consider it your vacation property instead of paying to go to Disney World or the Caribbean or wherever you go on vacation. You can visit your property. You can put up a tent. You can put up a camper trailer. You can go there and you can have campfires, and you can build a tree house. There's a lot of fun and enjoyment that comes in acquiring a piece of land. And so that's, and once you get the land, it seems like naturally you start moving towards acquiring a home on it. Many of the individuals that I have built homes for in the past as a builder of handmade houses, many of those clients started by living in a major city, and they would vacation out in the countryside, go for rides, and they just sort of found a piece of land that they really liked, and they went ahead and, oh, we'll buy it and maybe we'll build on it 10, 20 years from now. And next thing you know, they were building a little weekend cabin on it, and then next thing you know, they had decided to move there and start living in their dream property in a dream home. So it's a great process of getting the ball rolling is in acquiring a piece of land. I think that I see the demand that's coming my direction from the younger generation, which has pooled in the larger metro cities, that there seems to be a strong desire to move to more rural locations. There's the ability to earn a living as never before in rural locations. And I just see this tidal wave that's coming from people that are into urban living right now that are going to come. And when that wave comes, it's going to drive prices up and eliminate selection of properties significantly. And one other thing that I've noticed in the recent acquisition of my own property is that there is currently a bargain wall that is available for those individuals who will consider purchasing a property with challenging internet access. That even the real estate agent that I worked with in purchasing this said that 10 years ago people would ask about cell phone reception perhaps, but that was in the top 10 questions that they would ask, but no one asked about internet connection 10 years ago. Whereas today, that is the first question that they get associated with any property. How is the internet connection? And if it's challenging or non-existent in that area, there's no interest whatsoever. So there are plenty of opportunities if you're looking for property in a zone that is just not getting good high-speed internet access. And from everything I see and read, I think that within 5 to 10 years, that's going to flip to the point that high-speed internet access is finally available for everyone, and that wall will bust through, and those bargains that are had on a nice piece of rural land are going to disappear. Okay, I did want to cover 3 things today. So land is number one. Look for it. There's plenty of owner financing out there. That I purchased a piece of land for not much more than what a price of a new pickup truck cost. So if I drive a 30-year-old pickup truck, so if you can afford to drive around in a nice new car, you can afford to make payments on a nice piece of land. So it costs you nothing to start looking, so start looking for land. Okay, moving on. Number 2 that you can do right now to help you in that future property of yours is to build some kind of structure. If you're thinking about building with modern construction techniques of 2x4s and all, and you don't have that skill, you don't have the necessary tools for it, go ahead and build yourself a small shed. There are plenty of folks out there that sell pre-made sheds. They're generally junk, but build yourself a really nice shed. And in the process of doing that, buy the tools as you need them and learn how to use them as you need them. And those individuals who sell sheds for a living will gladly move your shed to your future property for a minimal fee. So, and this will give you the tools and the confidence and the knowledge to build something of that particular type. Now, a year and a half ago, I built a small log cabin at my current home out in the yard. And I did that as part of the Log Cabin Academy. And that is that I encouraged everyone in the course to also build a small log cabin. If you can build a small log cabin, you now have the knowledge, confidence, and skills to move forward in building a log cabin in the future. And plus, in the process of it, you can have yourself a sweet little outbuilding. So a year and a half ago, when I created that little log cabin for the Log Cabin Academy, I had no land, I had no place to put it. It has sat in my yard for a year and a half now, and it is aged, and in a very near future Handmade House TV episode, we're going to go out and we're going to take a look at that cabin to see how it's held up. And this year, now that I have a raw piece of land with a driveway in it, I am going to take this little log cabin that I assembled, cost me all of $225, and I'm going to disassemble it, and I'm going to put it up and finish it in all of its glory on my property. And there it will either become a tool shed that I will use to keep all my stuff locked in while I build my home, or perhaps it'll be a kayak shack, in the fact that I bought a piece of land with a little bit of lake frontage, and I got a couple of kayaks that need a place to store it in. So by building a little structure, it gives us the skill, confidence, and a useful structure that we can use in the future. Okay, the third thing that I would encourage you to build now, is to go ahead and create your future stone fireplace. I recently completed, and I highly encourage you to sign up for it, the Stone Mason Academy, where I spend more than 11 hours going through incrementally how I've always achieved the most magnificent stone work. And in one of the two projects that we build within the Stone Mason Academy, one of them is a stone fireplace, a wonderful arched stone fireplace. And it took me, I think, about 40 hours total to hand cut and hand shape all of the stones associated with this fireplace. And I dry laid them in place as I created it and set it up. Now, I've now numbered each one of the stones in this particular fireplace, and when the time comes when I am ready to have a stone fireplace in my future home, it will take me less than a day to bring these stones in and to mortar them permanently in place. So I have done a week's worth of work that would be in that critical last zone of building a home. When we build our home, it never fails that at the very last stage of it, that last 10% of the construction of our home, that's when the stone fireplace goes in place. And it never fails in that last 10% phase that our budget is blown. We are broke, and there seems to be an infinite number of things that need to be done in order to finish the home, in order to get in it. And frequently when we get to that stage, when we take this heart of our home, this most precious part of our home, the fireplace, we go ahead and, I don't have the time, I don't have the money to do it, let's just throw something up, and that center of our home, that heart of our home, often becomes disappointing. And so if we go ahead and we create the fireplace now, when it comes to that most critical part, we can just bring it in and put it up, and we have something magnificent to view. I created the the stone fireplace in the Stonemason Academy, I used stones from various different projects and places that I had visited. It's a memory fireplace. When I look at the completed fireplace, each stone tells me its own story. When people come in to view the fireplace, they will, "Who built that?" And I can say, "Well, I did that." So there's a lot of bragging rights to creating a fireplace now. And so total money invested in building that stone fireplace, it was less than $100 worth of stone that went into it, plus some hand tools that I already had, and which I cover all the tools you need in the course. But anyway, those are the three things that I would consider recommending to any of you out there, is to go ahead, first of all, get that land. Second of all, build some kind of structure that will give you the skills and tools and inspiration to build something, and that will be useful for you on that property in the future. And third, go ahead and learn the craft of stonemasonry, and go ahead and build that finished fireplace, and you'll have something really to treasure when time comes. Anyway, I hope that you found today's the Handmade House TV episode of use. Before we go, I would like to thank 5 new members of the Handmade House Guild. They are Michael Dick, Eric Keith, Richard Gallagher, Giovanni Cirella, and John Bell. Guys, thank you so much for all of your kind words you've said about the new Stonemason Academy, which is part of the ever-expanding content within the Handmade House Guild. If you haven't already joined us, please consider doing so. And until next week, this is Noah Bradley. We'll see you then. Bye now.